Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beyond Life Paranormal Researchers podcast. I'm your host, Russell Reynolds. My guests tonight are the founder and co-founder of Ghost Hunting Housewives. Sorry about that. Crystal and Carol. Let's please bring them on and welcome them. Hey, guys.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Hi. Thanks for having us. There's the other housewife, Brandon.
Yeah, there's the other housewife.
I'm a housewife.
How you get that way?
So, tell my audience a little bit about yourselves and how Ghost Hunting Housewives got started.
Well, Carol and I have been best friends for 22 years, and almost 22 years of that time we have been investigating together. We met each other in Florida and at a haunted location there. We were both working at, and we were like, oh, we're just going to be best friends forever. And here we are. Like we actually, doesn't happen very often, but we have held through, and we're more like sisters than anything. So right before the virus hit, we decided we were going to start Ghost Hunting Housewives. And then, through it all, we still did the best that we could, continued investigating and creating. Yeah, we started building and, networking with other people that we hadn't met before. And we started Ghost Hunting Housewives, and it has been a roller coaster for sure. We've got to meet so many amazing people. We've been brought into Paracons over the last 4 years, and met people and seen people that we've seen through the years. So it's been fun, definitely a lot of fun. We've been doing private residences for, almost 22 years now, and it's been a lot of fun. So
Awesome.
Yeah, we went from just the Ghost Hunting Housewives, and we're a nonprofit now, and we're helping a lot of historic locations to try to restore and preserve the history. A lot of fundraising events. So yeah, it's been already a busy year. So
yeah, I was fixing to say it's very busy.
Oh yeah.
It's getting busier and busier.
Yeah, definitely.
That's us too. We're booked for the whole year already. So
yeah, we usually start breaking down about end of November, 1st of December. We start winding down for the year, and then when January hits, it hits full force. So
Try to have a little break in there somewhere.
Yeah, we shut down around the holidays. So
yeah, I mean, out here we usually don't. We're still going full force even through December most of the time.
Yeah, we have a local get together with some of the local teams here, and we'll do an investigation right usually about 2 weeks before the holiday season, and we'll bring in some of our friends and just have a fun investigation to end the year off or something,
Oh, nice.
But yeah, so yeah, usually it's at this lovely location here, the Poly Jail, but it's a lot of fun, and we're gonna keep going strong and keep working and helping other people. So
yeah, that's what it's all about, is helping people, because they don't know where to turn when they've got something going on in their home.
That's it.
Oh, yeah.
We have multiple people here that we've helped and that we continue to help, but it is, that we're not doing it for ourselves. That's for sure.
Right.
A lot of sleepless days, nights from the time we wake up in the morning. This is what we do. We're constantly
Well,
replying
see,
to
you
emails
caught it. I
and
was still out here earlier. I'm like,
Mhm.
it's
Yep.
Well, yeah,
nonstop. I think I could sleep for a week, probably. If there
right.
was
Us
no.
investigators don't have a sleep schedule.
No. I mean, I've never really had a sleep schedule. I worked in emergency medicine, and so
Mhm.
sleep schedules, I've never had those. And even since I retired from that, I still don't know what that is. So I go to
Yeah.
sleep around 1:30 in the morning and wake up around 5:30 in the morning and go all day.
I don't remember what sleep is. I
Yeah.
think I was a teenager. Last time I slept.
Right.
We were up in Georgia earlier this month, and everyone was shocked. They're like, "Oh, you're driving back tonight?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll drive as far as I can." So I did. I drove and went to sleep. We got us a little hotel there outside of Atlanta and slept for a couple hours. I'm like, "All right, Carol, let's get back on the road." She's like, "What? How could you do this?" Sleep the rest of the day. 2 hours of sleep in 48 hours.
I was
Right.
just so tired. Not to mention, I smelled like pickled eggs. So we had this jar of pickled eggs. We like pickled sausages and pickled eggs. And we had
Pickles.
this jar and we stopped at the hotel and I was like, I want to bring these eggs. And I was like, it's going to look really weird. The only thing we're doing when we're carrying into the hotel is a jar of pickled eggs. So I brought them in. And then when we were leaving that morning, I was just holding them like this to my chest. And then I'm like, started smelling something and my shirt was all wet. And I'm like, oh man, they had spilled all over me.
Yeah, the brine, it was all over her shirt.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're crazy. We're just a lot of little crazy Southern girls. But yeah.
I think that happens too when you got lack of sleep. You get wound up.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I wish we could say that's our problem, but that's usually just us. I mean,
That's what
if,
we can blame it on now. Oh, we're not
Yeah.
crazy. We're just tired.
yeah, we're not crazy. We're just tired.
That's like us when we went to Waverly Hill Sanatorium. We rolled into the hotel. It was about 4 o'clock in the morning,
Mhm.
and we were all just wired and laughing and carrying on.
Yeah, definitely. Riding that adrenaline. It doesn't go down quickly for sure. And we when we go, the people are like, they're like, you're gonna sleep for only a couple hours. I'm like, yeah, we gotta get back on the road. We gotta go home.
Yep.
Yep. But
I've done my share of that as well as doing residential investigations and getting on the road the same night, coming
Yep.
back.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Crystal's the driver.
I know. Except unless Tuck's around, and then Tuck's the driver.
Yeah.
And she's out actually driving tonight for the Paracon in Pensacola, the Pensacon. So she's out working tonight, or she'd be on here with us. Yeah.
She said, I'm gonna wear my Ghost Hunting Housewife shirt tonight.
She is. She's already gone down to Pensacola Beach and wore her shirt and got lost at Fort Pickens and everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
funny.
it's crazy down there, especially starting now because it's turning into spring break down in Pensacola and down on the Gulf Coast. So yeah, here within the next couple weeks, it's going to be crazy chaos down there. So yep. But
Hi, Mom.
hi, Mama. Yeah, Carol does not drive in the dark at all.
No,
she does not.
I can't see.
I do the driving.
Yeah, I cannot see.
That's me. I do a lot of the driving too.
Yeah, I do it unless Tuck's around, and then Tuck does the driving. I mean, she's a professional driver in her regular job, so we just say, "Hey, guess who's driving?" But yeah, so it's definitely a busy schedule this year, but we're hoping to be able to get around, see the country, and see everybody that we can, and start again next year. So
Yeah.
You guys need to come out to Missouri. There's a lot of stuff out here, a lot of history.
yeah, Carol's actually was up in Missouri for a little while. So it's cold, Russ. Really, it's just, I mean,
It's a long drive.
and I
What I
mean,
usually do is I drive to Crystal's and then we sleep. And then the next day she drives to wherever we're going.
wherever we're going.
Mhm.
Now tell me,
Nothing's
okay, so
around
this
here.
is my question when people say we need to go to a location, we need to go to a certain state. What about the food? How is the food? Are there certain things that, you can say a Southern girl would like? Because I'm all about the food and I like to go. This is our thing. We go to a location, we go to a town that we've never been to before. We like to support the local small mom and pop places and restaurants.
Right.
So tell me about the food. What is this? Yeah, is there a certain dish that's very popular there, or?
Pork tenderloin is the biggest.
Oh yeah.
Oh well,
Huh.
that's good.
That sounds
I
good.
dig the pork tenderloin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's big out here, as well as catfish. They do a lot of fish fries out here.
Yeah,
and
we'd be fine then. We love fish fries,
Yeah.
fish bowls, all that stuff. That's a Southern.
believe it or not, out here, a lot of people talk with a Southern accent out here.
Oh, really?
Oh
You
yeah,
fit in.
Well, we fit in right well then.
Yeah.
especially South Missouri down towards the Lake of the Ozarks and
Well,
Ozark
my
Mountain.
hometown is Ozark, but it's Ozark, Alabama, and it was
Alabama.
named after the Ozark Mountains. So,
Mhm.
I mean, maybe that's why people are like, well, we went to the wrong Ozark. We were supposed to be in Ozark, Alabama, and we went north. So,
But yeah, out here we've got a lot of history with Jesse James,
hi, Tracy.
Hi.
and we've got Missouri State Penitentiary, which is another big location.
Definitely.
A lot of battlefields out here from the Civil War.
Oh, really? We're all
that's
about
what we like.
all about battlefields. We love the
Yeah,
battlefields. We're doing an
Lexington,
event
Missouri, Springfield, Missouri is all
Mhm.
battlefields. Marshall,
Awesome.
Missouri is a military town. There was a battle there in the square
Oh, wow.
where the Union soldiers were based there, and they were held up while the Confederates ambushed them.
Oh.
Yeah, we've got a lot. We've done a lot of investigation in hit battlefields during the Civil War or from the Civil War. So we're actually going to have a public investigation at Fort Blakely, April 19th. And we will be investigating the battlefield there, which was actually where the last Battle of Mobile was fought. And we investigated there for a few days earlier this month, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
We're very big on paying our respects. We're both came from military families. My husband is active duty military, so we always end those investigations by playing taps and just taking a moment of silence to respect those that passed on in battle. So yeah, but we definitely love our battlefields and our military bases and those sorts of places. So yeah,
We've got the big down in Lexington. We got the big military Civil War cemetery down there, and we hear a lot of reports coming out of there that's haunted.
Oh wow.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. There it is. And I think that's the biggest thing is that in America, there's so many locations such as these battlefields that, people don't remember or don't care to, explore those locations. They remember Gettysburg. And, I lived 3 hours from Gettysburg for 7 years. And yeah, it's a great location. It's a great location to do photography at and, to be able to investigate during the day because you can't investigate at night in many of the on the battlefield at night. They stopped that. But it is people always, see and think Civil War and it's Gettysburg. we want to change that because, I mean, you've got not just the Civil War, but you've got the Revolutionary War that was fought. You've got the French and Indian Wars that were fought. And the list goes on and on. And I've lived, and Carol has too, in so many different locations throughout the United States. And we've investigated so many different battlefields, and people are just like, "What? I've never heard of that before." And I'm like,
Yeah.
because it's
We
not
like to
it's not
find the
taught
ones
in
that-
it's not
Right.
taught in the history books. People forget, and it's very sad the things that are left out in history lessons today. So
Yeah,
Well,
our
we've
dream is going
even
to be.
got the Mormon battlefields out here too, where we've got a place called Hans Mill where they slaughtered a bunch of Mormons.
oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
militia
wow.
rode in because the Mormons were taking over, and they stole a cannon from the military. They were afraid the
Hmm.
Mormons were going to start a war, so
Huh.
Like a
Livingston County
militia?
militia rode in night before Halloween and just started slaughtered about 17
man.
of them, and
Wow.
just threw their bodies down a well.
Oh my goodness.
I've
Wow.
never been.
And that's what people don't, the history I mean, there's so many, and there's things that people don't know about. I mean, like that's a story I've never heard of,
Yeah, I was going to say,
and
I didn't even know
yeah,
that.
I mean, and that's the sad part is that, there's so many stories out there that need to be
Yeah.
told, and history that has been forgotten that doesn't need to be forgotten. Senseless crimes and so many other things that are just thrown to the wind and they blow away and never to be talked about again. So we're trying to change that.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing, that
Right.
we in the paranormal field, where it's not just about, it's not just about the spirits or the cryptids or, apparitions here and there. It's not just about that. It's not about just proving that. It's about helping the locations that we go to. It's about raising awareness to the locations that we go to, helping them, restore and keeping their historical integrity.
Yep.
So I think the more that we, all come together in a community and know that it's not just about going out here and filming and seeing what evidence we can get, but also doing everything that we possibly can to help save those locations from being torn down. Because I know here in the South, it is not uncommon for places to not get the help that they need. We have many places that are just like right now. I mean, I'm completely heartbroken. Some might have saw that there's a location in Georgia, and as a child, I frequented there often, and we would go there on field trips, and it was a living history museum in Westville, Georgia, and they decided about 5 years ago, to move the site and the homes to Columbus, Georgia, which is about an hour and a half north. And when they did this, it costed them millions of dollars. Well, they ended up going bankrupt. So now not only are all of these homes, and it was a complete town, the roads were all, gravel or, muddy roads. It was beautiful. And you could go in there and get you a good old Southern biscuit and sausage from, the kitchens and stuff in these old homes. And you had to walk through the foxtrots and all this stuff. And, it was dog trots, and you could do all these amazing things in this town. I had so many paranormal experiences there as a child, and it is being put on the market, and they're selling 58 acres for $257,000 with over 7 historical homes on it.
No, it's
Right.
horrible. Let
And
it go.
all the homes that are left there, they just let it go. Like the roofs
Yeah.
are caving in on the cabins.
Yeah. That's the thing.
The Masonic Lodge is being, I think that's the only one that's left that's worth anything.
Yeah.
The old academy school that's there, the roof's falling in on it. And, it's just places like that we wish we could do everything we could to save them, but we can't.
And
So-
someone's going to buy it and probably bulldoze everything
Bulldoze
down.
everything that's there.
Right. Yeah.
Like we had someone ask us the other day, they said, they asked how we saved the historic places. Did we buy them all? And I was like, if only.
If only we could, we would.
If only
you know?
we could.
We do what we can, but if we were, I
We
could
don't
promise
buy
you that if we actually had the money to buy all these haunted locations and historic locate, we would. We'd be like,
Oh,
here you
yeah.
go. Here's the cash. Give us the keys. You don't got keys, just got a padlock. All right, we can cut that off.
Right.
But definitely.
Yeah, we try to preserve history too. We hate to see it get destroyed.
Yeah, it's sad.
It is.
And then you get your kids that want to trespass in there and start vandalizing the place. That
Yeah.
makes it worse for everybody else.
And that's what we were asked on another podcast earlier this week, like, what would you tell somebody who's just starting out? What's a piece of advice that you would give somebody who's just starting out investigating? I said, follow the laws. Don't trespass and get permission. We've had so many locations that were open and, free for paranormal investigators to go into. The Samuel Mudd House, where John Wilkes Booth over in Waldorf, Maryland, Charles County, Maryland. It was open for us to investigate, and then they closed it down. No one can go in there and investigate because kids were going in there after nighttime hours and vandalizing it, and so many other things were taking place. They said, nope, not happening. So, it's just follow your laws and, find out, is it owned by somebody? And, don't go in there destroying anything, leave it the way you found it.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. We tried to get into it's an old poor farm up here in Macon, Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
I called the city about it, and they said, we're not letting anybody in there because the kids went in there and graffitied it and smashed all the windows out of it.
Wow.
And now I find out they're tearing it down.
See, that sucks. Excuse my language, but it sucks.
It does.
Yeah.
Puppies.
I know.
Sorry, I know you probably don't even.
We have a lot of inside jokes. So we were asked if we have a profanity filter on our streaming service, and it gives you these options of words that you can blacklist, and it said puppies, kittens, and bananas as a blacklist.
So,
I'm like,
so we're like, our whole podcast would be nothing but puppies. Oh, and bananas, puppies,
kitty cats, kittens.
We'd never have any other words in there.
That's why I'm glad on this one they give us free range. If we want to cuss, we can.
Yeah,
right.
We definitely try to keep,
right,
keep it clean. But anybody that knows us in the real world, Brandon, he knows that we are as foul mouthed as they come. Like, yeah.
Right.
Our parents yelled a lot.
Well behaved women rarely make history, so why should we change now?
Yeah, there you go.
We're getting into our senior years, so.
Right. What would you say your best piece of equipment to go to on an investigation?
Ourselves.
Yeah. Ourselves are
our number one piece of equipment is ourselves, and we tell everybody that. Like, if you go to a location, I mean, you can use an EMF meter and you can use a spirit box and you can use all these different things, but the best piece of equipment that you can use is yourself. Trust your intuition and let it guide you.
Right.
And start helping yourself. Yeah, exactly. And start learning how to intuitively figure out what's going on. Go into a location and, don't know anything about it. Don't research it. Go in there and just sit in silence. Nothing going on around you, just complete silence. And see what pops into your head, what you feel, and write it all down, and you can even record yourself, like bring a voice recorder. And if you are sitting in complete silence, you have nothing, you say, oh, I felt something touch my shoulder, or, oh, that gave me goosebumps, follow those and go with it.
Like anyone, everyone has intuition,
Yeah.
Did you see Mom said,
when you do it enough, you can tell, especially when you walk into somebody's house, you can feel it as soon as you walk in that door.
That's it. The energy shifts.
Yeah.
And there's so
Like
many
that.
people that have lived in these locations, and they
Right.
were like, "Oh, all of a sudden I've lived here for 30 years, and then all of a sudden, things are happening, and I got lamps being thrown at me." And I try to tell him, I said,
Laundry
you can
baskets.
bring, yeah, and you can bring these energies in, and they use especially those who love to antique, and those
Hmm.
that love to go to these thrift stores, like, anything like that. And you bring in these vessels into homes, you're not cleansing these items before you bring them into your house. And I tell everybody, you just don't know what you're inviting into your house. I don't even put a welcome sign at my front door, because I ain't inviting nobody else's energy in my home. Like, it ain't
Right.
happening. There's no welcome sign at my front door. You are not welcome. I choose who gets to come in here. And Carol has even said there, she was like, "Crystal, you need to cleanse me before I walk in the house." And here I come. I got my, everything. I got my copal here, and it's just, as soon as she opens up the door, it just
It was
blows
right
right in
at
her
the door.
face. Yep. Like, nope, it is not. Nope, take it on out. And she's like, "I've had so much bad stuff. The curse is
Right.
taking over." And so I'm like, "All right, well, we're just gonna fix this."
I open up the door and it's just smoke. I'm like, all right, well, that was a little extreme, but I'll take it.
Hey, it worked, didn't
Yeah.
it? You didn't have no more problems after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's like some people that try to cleanse their house themselves. A lot of people, they don't know how to do it, and
Mm-hmm.
they end up trapping it in, or they make it even
I
angry.
don't,
It'll go laying dormant,
Yeah.
and then as soon as it's clear, it starts all over again.
Yeah.
and that's what I explain to everybody. Um, you know, when you aren't doing things correctly, or you don't know what you're doing, or you haven't asked permission for certain things, you shouldn't be doing them. And like with me, when I'm cleansing, I don't use sage. I never have. I never will. Unless, I was granted that permission from somebody. I would not, I wouldn't do it. I use copal, I use frankincense, and I use rosemary. That's my go-to.
Mm.
And copal goes back to Mexico. It's a resin from Mexico. My family's descendant from Mexico and Spain, so it is one that I've used for many, many, many years. And so I use that, and Carol gets choked out with her little demon self when she walks in my house. So,
Hey, there's been other times we had to cleanse the cars and
they
everything.
love,
That
they do not bother me. They know better than to bother me. But Carol, they love Carol. They love to interact with me. So it's a big yin yang with me. Like, they're either going to interact with me and they're going to have a conversation with me, or they're going to tell me to leave. Like, there's no, with Carol, they usually like to follow Carol. And she had a child follow her from a fort in South Alabama. I'm passed out. Nothing bothers me. Like, when I go to bed. There's no like, nope. My head hits the pillow. I'm out. Carol, she sits there and, like, talks to everything and thinks about everything. And she felt something tugging on her toes at the foot of the bed.
I tried to ignore it.
She did try to ignore it, and she tried to wake me up, and I ignored her. And the next morning, she's like, "I think you need to cleanse. I think we need to cleanse." And I'm like, "Why?" We're standing in a cemetery visiting some family members of mine. And she's like, "We just gotta have to cleanse. Something was messing with me last night. I think that little kid that we saw in the tunnel followed me home." So here I am in the cemetery, just like, cleansing all of her stuff. And I was like, "Hey, let's do it." So all of my ancestors in that cemetery were probably like, "Oh man, here she is."
They're probably saying, "What's wrong with her?"
She's so crazy. I mean, I was called Crazy Crystal by the time I was, like, even in elementary school. They've always called me Crazy Crystal. So, I mean, my ancestors aren't shocked by anything that I do.
She comes to visit us after how many years, and she's out here being crazy. Everywhere. You're probably wondering, what in the heck are they doing?
Right.
Hey, that investigation, that whole weekend was crazy.
It was.
We had You want to tell them about our
and go ahead.
snake?
Go ahead. Tell them about that.
So we went to investigate. It was Fort Morgan, and I think we had already been to the condo. We were looking.
We had already dropped our stuff off at the condo.
Dropped our stuff off, and we were going to find a place to eat. And
Sassy
I guess we turned down. Yeah, sassy bass. And we turned down the wrong road, and so we were turning around, and it was a dirt road.
It was a sandy, beachy road. We headed out towards some private condos.
We were coming back, and Crystal's like, "See that snake? Take a picture. I'm half blind, okay? But yeah, I'm going to do this." So trying to take a picture. The next thing you know, there's this big dust whirl. I mean, what would you call it? Dust storm? I don't know.
Yeah, like a what?
Little mini dust tornado.
Kind of, but it was weird the way that it just came. The wind wasn't even blowing. It just looked like a little dust tornado that came through. And the snake is going this way and the dust tornado is going that way. So
we're like, ooh, awesome investigation this weekend.
Yeah, and it definitely was. It did not disappoint at all.
It didn't disappoint. A lot of crazy things happen.
And then
did a lot of EVPs and stuff.
We did. We got a lot of EVPs. We had a full shadow figure that we caught on camera. It was a little child, and we were actually done. And we were leaving the team that had invited us there to investigate with them. And as we were leaving the tunnels, we felt that intuition that something was following us. And so I had my camera there, and Carol's like, "Turn around, snap, snap." So we both at the same time just turn around, took, multiple pictures, and we actually caught a silhouette of a little child. You could see the dress, the A-frame of the dress and everything. And
she wanted to play late that night.
Yeah. And so
I think that's who came back with us.
I think so too, because we felt it following us through 3 tunnels. So, the catacombs all the way through the tunnels. So it was very interesting. And then for 3 investigations after that, we were actually just investigating and had no earthly idea that there were snakes in every single one of our videos that we were taking. We would see a snake.
Is right there next to it.
Mm-hmm.
Crystal's
like, "Carol, did you see that snake?" She's like, "My hand was right there." And I'm like, "That's cool."
I hate snakes. I'm deathly afraid of them.
And see, I don't mind snakes. Snakes do not bother me as long as they don't have rattlers on them, and as long as their mouths ain't white and they don't smack your leg when they wrap around it. I'm good. I don't mind boas, and I don't mind these cute little Kenyan. I love them. I'd go to a pet store and play with a Kenyan sand boa all day. Boa constrictor, pythons, wrap little babies around my arm. I'm good. These girls, they're definitely afraid of them. Me I'm a smart girl. I was raised in the woods, hunting and fishing and all of that. You ain't gonna get me. Let me tell you something. There's a big difference between me and y'all girls. Okay, me, I'm not gonna go out in the woods and hear a bobcat crying out in the woods and go, "Here, kitty, 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 kitty."
I was just taking
I ain't even
pictures.
getting out of the car. I
was taking pictures.
But you were outside of that car. Like, no. Yeah, blood could be splying all over. No. And I'd be like, "See, told y'all."
I didn't want to bring it home. Puck wanted to bring it back. I just wanted to get pictures. She wanted to play with it.
Yeah, no. And we have wild hogs down here. Another big thing that we have. And we're talking about, like, when I hunt hogs, they're like max out deer weights. They're so big, like max them out. And so, that's one thing that I think about when I'm walking 2 and 3 miles in the dark to get to locations. No. I'm always paying attention. They're like, "Oh, y'all scared?" Yes. Have you ever seen the tusks on a wild boar? No. Y'all obviously didn't hunt the same things that I hunt. And if nope.
I've seen
Missouri's got them out here too.
Nope.
Oh, yeah.
Them cutters on those nope. Not for me. Y'all can sit here and pretend like y'all ain't scared, but let me tell you, I ain't afraid to say it. I'm scared of a wild boar.
Oh, well, I'm scared of them. I don't want to play with them.
Well, if you're close enough to get a picture, you're close enough to have everything ripped out of your intestines.
Yep.
You know? So
Well,
get
I was
close.
just going to push.
Here,
I was
kitty,
just going to push Sean and tuck down.
They would have gotten to you too because you're a gimp. You'd have fallen trying to push them down.
I'm gimp.
See?
Especially
Now,
if you
I'm
run
always
into a
paying
mountain
attention.
lion.
Yeah. Oh, God. I know. We never saw it, but for 2 nights. But that second night, it was like right on top of us. It was coming.
It followed us to another location in the car. It was stalking us. And I was like,
Mhm.
yep, everybody got out of the car. I heard it. And I was like, nope. I got back in. And they're like, oh, it's getting closer. Really? What made you think it was getting closer? That y'all are going to just continue standing outside and talk about how it gets closer? No. Okay. I'm good with the dead. The living is what scares me. So
I
y'all
tried
keep
to
on
film
keeping
it while we were leaving, but the video is pretty cool. But you'd have
yeah,
to take
because I'm in there
noise
telling the
out.
whole world not
Yeah.
that we love them because you guys are calling here kitty kitty to the wild cats.
I know, Crystal. We love everybody. If we don't come back, you can hear her, but all you hear is this. Because I'm hanging out the car window trying to get video. We always have fun.
I'm
though.
smart, y'all little Amy and Tuck. Y'all can continue. No, not for me.
Yeah, you don't want to come face to face with one.
No, you don't.
Definitely not.
It is no. It is the scariest thing when you get, a wild boar coming up out of a 6-foot deep hole and staring you face to face, and you only got 2 options.
Yep.
No, not. I'm smart. Them.
Like I said, Missouri's loaded with them too. For a while there, they had kill on sight for them because they were such a nuisance.
Well, we actually down here in the South, we actually ran tags. We got paid on the military bases to dispose of them, and we got paid real well. We were contracted in to come and shoot them. We'd bring the dogs in and get them gone. But people don't think about those.
1 year. Yeah.
They finally went for the conservation to. They ended up putting a season on them here now because they finally thinned them out enough.
Yeah, there's not really a season here for them. They just continue to keep reproducing, and they get big. And we, like I said, we got rid of some real big ones. Big nasty. That's what we called my big one that people see on in my profile all the time. He maxed out the deer weight, but that's what a lot of people, they go in exploring in these locations. And again, it's like you got to be hyper vigilant and aware of what your surroundings are. Yeah. It is not just the dead that we are worried about. It is the living. And it ain't just animals, and it ain't just humans, like it's so many different things here. And like now I believe you. I mean, I have proven that to anybody. If something is coming that is alive, I'm gone.
Oh, she'll leave you no matter what. If you're walking with her and you fall down, she'll leave you. She's a leaver.
When those Crocs go into 4-wheel drive, I'm gone.
It's kind of
y'all walking slow. That's on y'all.
It's kind of another thing between us, Crystal. Some of her escapades where her and somebody went to do something and the other one fell down. Crystal was gone. Like, I'm not waiting.
No, I told you to be quiet. And we were actually, it was really funny. We were in up in Georgia, and we were there with another team, Southern Heat Paranormal. They thought that it would be funny when we were in this old cabin to try and scare us girls. Well, the other way around, I grabbed a large rock and tapped it underneath underneath of the cabin, and she tossed hers in attempts to scare the guys, and you could hear them get all loud and everything. So what do you do when you're in the middle of trying to scare somebody? You don't stick around, you run. So what did I do? I ran. Sierra, she ran, but as you can see her camera, it's going like this as she's falling over. And she said, "You see that?" And they were like, "What's that?" "That's me falling over." "Well, where's Crystal?" "She's gone. She left me.
She left
Yes, I
me.
did. I was gone. Don't expect me to
Yeah.
stick around.
Right.
That's our other thing. Don't fall down. Crystal will leave you.
Or I will laugh until I run away and like.
I hear you. I got some
Yeah.
team members like that too.
Yeah,
I know.
fun.
It's always something with us. We have a good time. I mean,
We do.
we're
We love to
serious
have
when
fun.
it's time to be serious, but we also have
Right.
fun. You know?
That's it. You know, and if you spend all your time being serious, you have no fun because you're so hyper focused on, you know, we need evidence. We have to do this. Like sticking
Yeah.
to these. I know there's quite a few people that only go to locations just to film. They're like, we got 3 hours. We got to get in there. We have to film and we have to leave. And I'm like, well, what are you doing? Like you're going to burn yourself out so bad because you're not enjoying anything that you're doing. You're just going in there to produce content and not actually investigate and enjoy what you're doing. And it's okay to have fun while you're doing this.
Yeah.
Well, that's like they'll go in too. Some teams will go in and they'll go to somebody's house and they'll just stir it up and then they just leave.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's not cool.
Mm-mm.
No.
And, you know, private residences are a totally different thing, you know, private residences versus locations who have been investigated hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. You know, it's a totally different thing. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of understanding and a lot of experience to be able to handle some of these private residences.
Yeah.
So.
I was trying to read that.
Yeah, that's my heart can't handle the paranormal stuff anymore. I'm starting to get hallucinations. That's why I stopped doing the paranormal things.
Oh.
Well,
wow.
Sometimes, you know, you have to step away. Sometimes you have to step back. You have to regroup and, you know, clear your mind, clear your space, and, you know, then start anew and see where it takes you. Because every one of our paths are different. And, you know, if this is not the path you're supposed to currently be on, then, you know, you'll find the one that you are. And wow, that was deep. Normally I don't get that deep. Like this is like, you know, I'm just sitting here listening to myself like, wow, Crystal, motivational podcast.
Yeah, there you go.
But it is, it's one of those that if you are not feeling like this is the place, then it's, you know, you step away, regroup, and
you always need to take time
anew.
for yourself and
but 100%.
Yeah, and sometimes you need to just take a break because you get burned out and it's time to just sit back, relax for a little bit, and then
get your feet up. That's it.
Or you start throwing things.
I mean, that is something that we do a lot. Now, I don't know if like guys do, but I know us women, like we're the first. If something doesn't work out, like it's being chunked across the room. Like I will go in the backyard and throw it out the window. Like it's just.
I'll be out here in my office / work space and I'll be trying to do something. I'll get so mad that I'm like, I chunk it across the room, call Crystal. What are you doing? Well, I was making stuff, but now I'm not. I chunked it and I'm done. And then I'll wait a little bit later and where am I? I'm back out there doing it again.
That's it. And that's one thing, like with Amy, she's starting to learn how we are. And she's like, oh, you need to calm down. I was like, you don't understand. I've been doing this for a week. So I'm kind of upset. But we do. I mean, everything since we started Ghost Hunting Housewives, it's just been me and Carol. So in January, we brought Tucker into our team, Amy Tucker. And so we are no longer the dynamic duo of Ghost Hunting Housewives. So we are a trio.
We're a trio.
And yep. So we're doing some amazing things, and she's learning Carol and I very, very quickly. You know, what you see is what you get. When it comes to me, at least Carol, she's retired. She's retired from speaking up, but me, what you see is what you get. Yeah. And if I have something to say, I'm going to say it. And Brandon can contest to that. So
Well, I'm getting to that age where you can tell me something, but 15 minutes later,
She don't remember.
oh,
forget.
you said that? Okay, cool. I don't
Yeah.
remember.
We call that part-timers.
Part-timers,
Yeah.
sometimers. In the South, we
Yeah.
call that sometimers.
Sometimers.
Because it ain't all the time, it's some's the time.
Yep.
It's getting there. It'll be all
What
right.
are some of the events you guys are doing this year?
Some of the big ones we have coming up, we have Cajun Country Paracon in New Iberia, Louisiana in March. Then we have Scared City Presents High on Nation in Paragould, Arkansas. And that is actually going to be running for an entire week. There's going to be paranormal investigations there. It is for anti-bullying with the High on Nation and High tribe. So we will be going to Paragould, Arkansas. That's going to be an amazing event. We're going to be there from the 11th through the 15th of July. So that's one of our really big events. We have
YMCA.
quite a few. Yeah, we have another Paracon in October. We have a few public ghost hunts coming up each quarter of the year. And then our private investigations as well. So it's going to be a lot of filming. We have a few irons in the fire that we can't talk about yet, but we're working hard and, doing everything that we possibly can to get things out and get some filming done and helping everyone that we can. So,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, if you're ever out in Missouri, holler at us. Well,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep, I will be let's see. I think the closest we're going to get is the Rock Island, Illinois, which I think is going to be first week in October. We'll be at Rock Island, the old YMCA at Rock Island. So y'all come on out. It's going to be fun. We have decided that this year that the only way that anyone can get the equipment that Carol makes is going to be if we have any left over from public events that we do, then we will put them on the website and sell them. But if we don't have any, the only way you're going to be able to get them is at the Paracons or public ghost hunts. We just cannot, we can't keep the demands. So as soon as we post them, they're gone, they're sold out. So the only way that we're doing that is if you reach out to us personally or you come to an event. Because poor Carol's stripper thumb just isn't we can't get that all messed up. We can't. It's actually working pretty good right now. So
yeah, now it's my arm. So
yeah,
I know
now it's her
entire.
That's because she ran around. She went not just for the thumb. It's her whole shoulder and left side is now. She's at a stripper left side. So
my stripper side.
This is her stripper side now. It's not just the
stripper
thumb.
Side.
But we still have equipment, and Carol is still making equipment. Tuck is helping her produce certain things, but everything that we will be doing, we're going to try to keep it limited to Paracons and public ghost hunts. So
yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
we're going to try to focus more on these fundraisings and helping these historic properties. So,
yeah.
Yep.
That's good. I like to see people helping history survive because it's dying.
And that's what we need. It is. It really, really is. We have so many places in America and in other countries that they've just left the historical locations to, weather the storms, and most aren't weathering the storms anymore. So,
you guys would love the school I work at.
I'm sure we would.
It's over 100 years old. It was built in 1909.
Oh, wow.
You said the school that you work at, or?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah.
And it's haunted. There's a little girl spirit. We've heard her several times talking in the gym.
Oh,
wow.
See, children's spirits, those are the ones that just, they tug at my heart, and it's the children's spirits.
And
stop getting emotional.
I know that's probably why I spend so much time in jails, honestly, because it's you don't see many children spirits in the
Right.
jail.
Investigating, not actual jail.
Well,
It sounded weird. That's why I spend so much time in jail. Investigating.
investigating
Not in
in
prison.
jail.
Right.
I am not a felon. For everyone that's
Yet.
let's wipe that off of I am too pretty for prison, okay? So let's scratch that, redact that, okay? We do investigate a lot of jails and prisons, those sorts of things. And I think it is a lot to do with, when it comes to this the children's spirits, they really want attention, and they will do what they can to get that attention from you. And when you go in there with abilities and gifts, you have to step away, because it will send you into a complete energy drain if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of things we do too is we try to go off the beaten track and find the places that aren't on, I guess you would say, on anyone's radar.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we try to find places that nobody else goes to when we go, see what we can do, and
see what we get.
It's kind of fun, hitting all these tiny little small forgotten towns and digging
Ghost
into their
towns.
history. Yeah. So
yeah,
and then we don't always film everything, because some of it's that way for a reason.
Yeah,
they don't want hundreds of people there.
Exactly. Like if we released some of these ghost towns and the information, like, people will be trampling through those places. And I think that there's some places that are there and have survived so many years alone for a reason. They don't need people coming in there and trampling all over the place. And I mean, there's a location that I spoke about earlier, the town of Blakely, Alabama, and it is just north of Mobile. It is a state park. But people tend to want to take souvenirs from locations, and someone took a brick from the courthouse foundation from this town. And so back when this was a town, they didn't have a courthouse in the beginning. So they had what was called the jury oaks. And jury oaks was basically the judge climbed into the tree branches and sentenced people from a live oak tree branch. And so anybody that knows about live oak trees, they're very large and massive, and they live for hundreds of years. And so the judge would climb into what was called the jury oak. And so the jury oak in this town actually didn't make it until it made it up until 2007, and then it was hit by a storm. But the actual tree where people were met their demise is still there. It is still hanging strong and has been there for 200 years or more.
Yeah.
I would say more, because it's probably been there about 400 plus years. It survived 200 years since the town was founded. So things are the way they are for a reason.
We learned a story where Crystal started about the brick. Somebody took the brick and they tried to bring it back. We met a guy out there, a guy that works out there, and he was telling us about it. And he's like he came back. He's like, I just want to give this back.
They were like, oh, well, you can keep it. He's like, I really don't want it.
No, I don't want
it. He would not tell anybody why he did not want it. But I have I have a feeling that there was reasons why he did not want that brick. And there's a lot of places that are like that. People will go into these locations, take something with them, but they will take that thing back eventually. So it's one thing. Just leave it the way you left it.
Exactly.
Locations. Leave it the way you
left it. Don't touch that. Don't touch
I will.
that.
I will give you the white finger.
She will give you this finger like this. Her knuckle will be white. She points it at you so hard.
We had a hotel that we did in these kids broke in there one night and somebody had seen them go in there. Well, the one kid never got caught. The other two did. Well, he been going back in there like 5 or 10 times. He's been in there. And he finally come back. We were there gonna investigate for the night, and we were actually helping the owner. We were fixing the roof too. He comes back. He says, I want to apologize to whoever the owner is. I was in here with my friends, and I brought a Ouija board in here, and we were playing with the Ouija board. And he says, I spent the night in here quite a few times, and the owner says to him, you're a little shit.
Yeah.
And I said to the kid, I was like, you're coming in this hotel. You're telling your mom you're going to a friend's house. That hotel is not safe. The roof is falling in the back of it. Mm-hmm. There's mold everywhere. And
but and then again,
on you, you're done.
Exactly. And I was raised in a small town. We didn't have, where I lived at, we didn't have buildings with things falling down or anything, but we were fearless. We would go and build forts in the back 50 acres behind us, or, go look for arrowhead and flint or something. So we were, rough and ready to hit the road every weekend.
Outside,
and I think outside. And today it's more, instead of, we would ask permission to go and do what we did, but today they don't ask permission. They just feel that they are entitled to something, so they do what they want. And it
needs to be like the old days. If you're doing something bad, if your parents start whipping you, it's the other people that found you doing something bad. The neighbor come over there, smack you on your butt, hand and send you home.
Huh? Your hand is now a ghost again.
Is it dead? Oh,
yeah, it died again.
I don't know. I got to get this thing fixed. I didn't have time. This is how it is tonight.
This is how we end the show. Carol has turned into a ghost again. Woo!
Yep. She'll just float away eventually.
She's gone.
She'll disappear right into the back wall back there, into that jail cell.
Into the abyss.
I actually could. If I could remember which button it was, I would do it.
Oh, no, that didn't work.
No, that didn't work.
No.
But that kid, his buddies vandalized the place, and they sprayed the fire extinguishers all over the place, busted holes in the walls,
and see, now if that was one of my locations, I wouldn't be calling the police. Like that wouldn't do nothing to it. What you do is you bring them out there and you make them work to fix locations. You put
that was the original plan. All three of them were going to do community service in there while we were cleaning the place up and helping us.
That's it. Yeah. You put them kids to work, and I many people, they look and they're like, wow, there's not many old Southern mamas out there, but I'll tell you, I got an old soul and I ain't afraid to use it. And my kids, all I gotta do, even my teammates, if I point that finger up and said, that's enough, and they're like, oh, yes, ma'am.
Well, we did leave her though, but we came back. We were driving in circles.
I never meet a stranger though. And there was a lady out there with Australian Shepherd dogs, and I have an Australian Shepherd puppy and horses. So two of my favorite things. And so I'm out there talking to these ladies and everything, and they just get in their car and they just drive away. Well, they come back around and Tuck's getting ready to drive away again. I said, that's enough. Sit still. And they're like, oh my gosh.
And Tuck stalled the car. She was so scared.
Yeah, she slammed on the brakes and herky. Yeah.
Stalled the car. She's like, oh, I guess we're gonna stay. She's like, you see that knuckle get white?
Yep.
Well, we're at our 1 hour mark. There's another show coming on after me.
Sounds good. Well, Russ, we're gonna have you. We'll have you over on our show, and we'll hopefully see you guys later this year. So we'll try to get up that way, and if not, then y'all can always come south when it gets cold in the winter.
Yeah.
All right.
Let my audience know if they want to anybody wants to get a hold of you for an investigation or anything like that.
you can find us at Ghost Hunting Housewives on all platforms. You can actually Google us and it'll pull up Ghost Hunting Housewives. There's quite a few articles out there that have all of our contact information as well. There's newspaper articles, magazine articles, so on and so forth. All of them have contact info on how to get with us. Ghost Hunting Housewives OG on Linktree. So that's us.
Yeah.
And I will post links on my page too as well so they can find you guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
So if you guys need anything, just let us know.
Yeah.
And thank you both for joining me tonight. And
Thanks
Thanks,
for having
Russ.
us.
oh, you're welcome anytime.
All right.
And
We'll
I
chat
look forward
soon.
to. Yep. We'll see you all next week, and join me next week. My guest is Keith and Carl Johnson for part 2. Take care,
Thanks, Russ.
everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome.